Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks Plays Naval Action. For those of you that have been here a little bit longer, you know that I have been covering many of the ships from the Naval Action original sea trials. And now I have some good news, actually. Naval Action has come out on Steam Early Access, which means we can continue playing one of my actually favorite games, and this Naval Action, I cannot recommend it enough. I mean, granted, the game is still pretty much in infancy, but what is already there is very, very cool. Okay, so that being said, I decided to show you roughly a mix of what I'm kind of playing with, and I have actually accepted one mission, and now I am just going out and trying to find a decent and meaningful encounter, maybe also do that Admiralty mission. So this is a game set in the Age of Sail. You might want to check out my earlier review. It was of the alpha. A lot has happened since then. Beta has came out, and after that they also released the open world, which is the world that I'm currently sailing in. It's beautifully modeled, it's beautiful landscapes, it's really a sight to behold. That being said, time is a little bit accelerated here, so that means when you're going, your speed is actually increased, so that's why you might consider actually longer distances, but then again, it is because the map is huge scale. I think it's even 1-to-1 almost. So rather than condensing the map, the devs have instead opted to have some increased speed. And I have bumped into a combat right in the middle of the engagement. So I'm playing on a PvP server, and I have bumped into the middle of the combat, so I decided to join on the side of Great Britain. Okay, so usually common courtesy, I just say hi, check what we are up against. So snow, mercury, and some more, I guess. So I immediately popped in and started asking, okay, so which should we focus? Like I said, this is on a PvP server, and Naval Action is actually an MMO, so it's a mix of, I guess, NPCs and players. So right now we are focusing snow, and then we would be focusing the mercury. So as you can see, I'm sailing here in basic cutter, which is your essentially basic starter ship, and for those that had pre-ordered previously Naval Action, those will be getting also a yacht. And yes, I chose not to sail yacht on my first mission because I didn't have enough money for the cannons. Yes, you have to buy cannons, you have to equip cannons, and as you progress you also buy and craft bigger ships. So I will be posting a review of the early access build a little bit later. Right now this is more of like first look of the early access. Granted, I haven't been playing for quite a long time, but also I have played it for a while when it was in sea trials. So okay, let's get into the match. As you can see, we have Top Bizarrely in snow and Brass the Berry in mercury. So my kind of plan is just close the distance and not get too close to any of them, and otherwise I might be taking some damage. Fortunately enough, Brass the Berry has decided to fire off his cannons right at this moment, which gives me some time between his reloads and the chance to actually pull some stunts on him. By the way, guys, for those of you that are new, always maintain situational awareness. What that essentially means is don't spend too much time aiming down the gun sights, because you might very well be bumping into another fellow player and causing yourself and him an insurmountable amount of damage. It can easily happen that you even kind of sink because of it, so be very careful with that. So go into the gun sites, fire with your guns, and then get out and keep an eye for fellow players. Okay, so as you can see, since this is the beginning, there are actually a lot of players playing with small ships like cutters, and in front of us, as you can see, we have a yacht, which is the premium ship, and to our port, or to our actually starboard side, is the Snow. And the Snow is actually, I believe, an NPC, so I'm just quickly firing off my volley, and some of my cannons ending up. Ooh, and this is what happens if you don't pay attention, guys. Bump, and immediately you can see up left corner I have 2 leaks, and I'm starting to take on water because I've bumped him at quite high speed. So I did apologize to the guy, but actually I didn't need to apologize because I bumped into Heinrich Lafitte, which is the enemy. I thought I was bumping into one of my teammates. Well, I guess I have to go into the survival and hopefully I won't sink. So, nice opportunity for the rake. That's nice. Filled his stern with hot lead, because that's always fun. So yeah, let's see a little bit in terms of how are we doing. Okay, there's the Snow, or Brasberry, no sorry, that's the Mercury, and we have Lynx over here. Lynx is basically like a basic schooner, so it is kind of also a basic starter ship. You have to be very careful when aiming down the sights so that you don't bump into somebody, and looks like we will be facing Top Bizarrely 1-to-1, so since he just fired his cannons, and that's something that you want also to look out for, I guess it's no harm, no foul, and we might just get away with it. Otherwise, his broadside would be pretty devastating for us. Okay, he's firing his rear cannon, and I'm trying to keep almost at, let's say, 45 degrees, so if he fires on my port side, the cannonballs should hopefully either bounce off or I should present a minimum target. And I'm kind of aiming for either his stern or his bow, or his basically port and starboard side, but around the waterline, because I'm hoping that my hits might create leaks for him as well. So yeah, that's kind of the tactics that I've been employing, and I'm basically trying to see where are the players at, and now I'm in the middle of 3 hostile guys, and I'm getting slightly concerned. I have 2 friendlies in front, but yeah, if I get too close and I find the closest one, I will get hit. Clearly the AI still sometimes needs to work on their skill, because Brasberry has just buried, I guess, Heinrich Lafitte, while I'm working on the Top Bizarrely. Some good volleys here, or broadsides. Yeah, in the next video I'll be probably showing you the combat after this one, which was kind of fun. I had a yacht and we were like 12 or 13 players trying to take down the Constitution, which is basically a super frigate in just yachts and cutters, and that was kind of fun to watch, like so many ships coordinating and stuff. This is actually when I was playing in the sea trials, there were a little less players. I mean, granted, there were big Trafalgar battles where there were more, but in the smaller ships there weren't so often that you had so many players, so that you could actually do so much damage and stuff. So I found this to be actually quite fun and entertaining, especially when there are now so many players that are basically playing the game. At the time of my today's logging, I guess there were 1,400 players playing on the server, on the PvP server, which I found very nice and very encouraging. So yeah, guys, as I mentioned in my Steam review also, if you're a fan of the Age of Sail game, definitely please check this one out. It's a very, very high production quality and also simulation. It does have a little bit steeper learning curve, and expect that you will be sunk a few times, but then again, it's well worth it. Also note that if you're expecting an arcade experience like Assassin's Creed 4 or I don't know, a little bit more like Pirates from Sid Meier, don't expect that. This is more of an accurate simulation and complex game, so but then again, it's really, really fun. Once you learn the ropes, you can really feel that you're sailing in the sailing ships of the 18th century, so late 18th century. So yeah, I really cannot recommend it enough. Okay, back to our combat. We have Karu 62, which ate a pretty hefty broadside from the top bizarrely, and I'm just checking the health on the Broadberry. Is around half health. I'm trying to see if it makes sense for me to shoot a volley, because my cannons are on reload anyway, so there really isn't a reason not to, and I'm trying to continue hitting this top bizarrely's stern in the hope that I do create some damage. I mean, from this distance, my 4-pounder cannons don't do much against snow, but still, you know, it adds up, so... By the way, cutter is actually fore and aft trigger, and you can see it by the sails being parallel to the boat, while snow is a square rigger, which has his sails put at opposite. So I must say the fore and aft riggers are very easy to sail even for beginners. The square riggers do take some actually getting used to. Oh, and we have fire on the top bizarrely. So beautiful. Will it sink? By the way, ships can actually, and that's also one thing that has changed from the initial Sea Trials Alpha, that the ships can catch fire, and in some cases they can even blow. If they blow, it's a huge area of effect, which can actually impact other ships as well. So if you guys see a ship that's on fire, you really, really want to get the hell out of Dodge. So yeah. Okay, well, his health is almost done. So let's try and generate some leaks. And let's try to get our buddy top bizarrely to be bizarrely going the way of the submarines. Not that there were any in the late 18th century, but there were ships that became submarines, I guess. Okay, so turning hard to starboard, and while I align my cannons, and let's see, ranging shot. I must say that the smoke and the fire from the cannons is really nicely modeled, and you really have to pay attention in terms to see really if you're hitting something or not. Okay. By the way, these fore and aft riggers, like the cutter that I'm sailing here, are actually pretty good being sailed when close hauled, and that means at a sharp angle to the wind. So the square riggers are much more problematic because when you're trying to sail against the wind, you really have to zigzag pretty hard to actually be able to do so. So I think our friend here, Top Bizarrely, is slowly sinking. Yes, he is sinking. Great. Now to find the Mercury. Okay, this is also the Lafitte guy who is also sinking. So only remaining is the guy in the Mercury, and I can see it off the port bow. So I guess I will be trying to get over there. Just trying to fire a raging shot, and from this distance I would prefer almost to try and hit his sails as opposed to the hull, because at hull I won't do jack, but against sails I might just tear a hole or two in it. So typically if you want to damage sails, it's better that you aim with a chain shot and from much closer distance, but then yeah. So let's see, is the other guy sinking as well? I don't think so. Oh look, we have Jack the Stripper. Nice. Thought it was Jack the Ripper. Okay, the Mercury is still alive, definitely, so we still have some business to attend to. So and this is actually where I told my team that I was actually recording the fight for the YouTube. And I was worried that when the guy replied, "No, please, no," I was like, okay, why? Well, what's the problem? He said like, yeah, he was sailing so and so, and I was like, okay, don't worry, my bad sailing is the only one that's being seen here. So yeah. Okay, it seems that Mr. Brass the Berry is also going the way of the dodo. So yeah. Or is he? I think he is sinking, yes. He should be, otherwise why would the game let me leave? Oh no, it actually lets me leave because I haven't fired a single shot, so it gives me an opportunity to withdraw. No, we're not gonna do that. We are going straight for the Brass the Berry. Okay, going for the Mercury. By the way, Mercury was also one of the ships that was added a little later stage. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks kind of nice. It looks just around that sweet spot where you want for the small ships, I guess. I don't know yet how it compares to the Snow, but Snow I have already played with, so once I get a chance I might actually be checking what Mercury looks like. And now Brotherberry, she's lying very low in the water and she is sinking. Battle over. Great fight, guys. I mean, congrats, this has been a really good fight. Okay, so let's leave the battle. And here you can see the combat screen, and I have gotten the loot barricades. I guess it's a permanent upgrade that do some melee bonus, which is actually kind of nice, so I figured might as well, take it with me. And here I'm not figuring out that it is still, the upgrades and not the cargo. I really like these images that are kind of transitional. They really add an atmosphere to the game. Okay, so and I think I'm gonna cut it here, and more content will be coming. So thank you very much, guys, for watching, and yes, this is GrunfWorks signing off.